Welcome to this grand spanking special 500th edition of What the Fuck Happenings in Mendham. We have lots of things to get to. Very exciting. Not really. Yes, it is the 500th, which is a lot of weeks of doing this, whatever it is. And yes, if I was rich, Patreon money and such. There'd be girls in bikinis, beach balls, all kinds of fun stuff happening. But, I'm not. And I'm also, I'm so sick of people. Oh, so annoying. Horrible. That's what you learn after 500 weeks of interacting with human beings. Is fuck it. It ain't worth the trouble. Yuck. Really. I mean, go find some spiders to interact with. Give you a better game. But yes, thank you. I'll say that. I can figure that. I can do that much. I'll say thank you, in spite of the fact you don't deserve it. If you fiddle with the camera, of course. Appreciate it. Lots of people on the, condolences type video. Appreciate it. People I hadn't heard from in a while. Appreciate it. Email, appreciate it. Anyway, it is strange times, as I say. The 500th, what the fuck, so lots of strange things happening. And, I'm not really good at strange. I like routine and all that kind of shit. So, it's not a good thing. But yeah, it's just horrible. Everything is difficult. Speaking of difficult, so we'll get to it. Modern mystic stuff. So in the beginning of the week, it was looking a little bit encouraging. Nick was going to do something interesting, and I guess I don't know. He never just overtly says, "This is what I'm up to." We always got to play some sort of game. Part of the gameplay. Shows part of the garden, the bottom of the sunflowers, not the top, that kind of thing. Always just teasing and playing. But anyway, I thought it was going to, thought it'd be rolling right along here, get to something interesting where we could have some sort of, oh no, you got that totally wrong, fuckhead. But yeah, nothing really grokkable. No, it's all grokkable. You just can't do anything with it. It's nothing to club with the grok. Once you understand, the understanding doesn't go anywhere, kind of thing. So we're sort of on the iRobot thing. Okay, Nick is, not that he's conceding it, but yes, he's saying it. We're robots. We're just machines. We're just calculators. We're just programmed. We have routines and subroutines, and those are not made by anything called an I. They're made by first your genetic code, and that's made by millions of years of evolution. That's why you kind of know how to do certain things. You're built to do them in the sense that you get a proper response out of the machine when there's a job well done. It's just so that's the ancestral programming, and then we're doing this new modern man thing where we're programmed by words and vocabulary and the ability to store great deals of information about interactions between the words, sentences and such, and all very there's a much bigger world than the little bug life we were living. But it's bigger in silly ways, because all of the words we've collected that have all this meaning, we've turned into silly shit with religion, and physics is apparently a religion. I didn't realize it, but yeah, it's also a religion. Full of woo zealots. So you just ruin the value of being able to do this cognitive thing where we can try to tell the real story and live in the real world, and instead everybody just does the fake world thing. And I'm all for the fake world in like virtual reality where it's all harmless. You know, then go ahead and be Luke Skywalker and have your little Jedi adventures. But in the real world, living in a fake world in the real world is really dangerous. You know, because then the thing you think is candy, like universal health care, is really poison, because it means you'll never own a home because you have to burn, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars per person for health care. You know, it means you'll be poor all your life. You know, stuff like that. So the story gets all fucked up because people are living the fantasy life in the real world instead of living the fantasy life in the non-real world, like a world of plastic things where you can't do any damage with your fake life. Anyway, so yeah, we're programmed by the culture, essentially. We're programmed by our life experience, and certain experiences lead to certain other experiences, lead to certain other experiences, just like, you know, depression leads to no girls in bikinis in this video. You know, that kind of thing. I just couldn't make the effort. You know. So yeah, you don't get, you know, your life rolls, you know, it starts, it's like you're at the top of a mountain, and whatever way it starts, shitty side of the mountain, sunny side of the mountain, that ends up sort of where you're going to tend to get stuck, unless you can be lucky enough to hit some sort of inspiration boulder along the way and bounce off of it and shoot back on into the sunny side or something like that. I could be thought of as some kind of boulder, you know, sticking out of the YouTube mountain or whatever. And somebody could hit it and say, oh, fuck, that fucked me. Fucked my little story, and now I have to come up with some other story. And unfortunately, they come up with some other story that's just as bad as the first stupid story. So they're still on the wrong side of the mountain kind of thing. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's only some. Some do it very well. They bang into me, and they, you know, they start looking like me and talking like me and all that. So that's really good. Anyway, from my perspective, from the story I'm defending. But really, that's all there really is, right? So we're just sitting there saying, well, all religions are lies and all religions are stupid. Well, of course they all are. But that doesn't mean every story is stupid. And that doesn't mean the objective of finding the truth isn't an admirable and proper objective. Because you can understand that living a lie, let's live a lie and then die. Or, you know, let's honor the truth and die. Which one sounds better? You know. Well, I shouldn't go by which one sounds better, because then people do their little poetry, their little Nietzsche poetry thing, and just say, oh, those are lyrical words. Don't worry, be happy. Well, that sounds like fun. Let's put it to music. Do 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 do. Right, exactly. And that's cultural programming. A culture that gives you that rubbish versus a culture that might give you the rubbish of, oh my God, you're in a mess. Yes, your parents were really stupid. You're in a mess. You got a huge amount of responsibilities here, because at any moment you could be doing horrible damage to something just as valuable as yourself. If you're like a golden egg, you can think of yourself as a golden egg if you want. Like, see, Nick even got to this a little bit. Like, people have this notion about how interesting and valuable they are. That's really okay, as long as you recognize that everything else is also doing the interesting, valuable thing. Then it works. But if you don't recognize that, then it's a problem. If you think you're a king or queen and everybody else is just peasant, well, that's a problem. But yes, like I said, you can think of yourself as being all special, but you have to recognize all the other shit is special too, and it's really complicated interacting in the world without breaking any of the other Humpty Dumptys. They're really easy to knock off the wall, like the little, you know, Chinaman's fingers getting cut off. Knocking someone off the wall is as easy as cutting off a Chinaman's hand. You know, that kind of shit. That's how easy it is. We're always, every move you make is a potential machete to the neck of somebody else. You marry your wife, you just fuck somebody else's life. Maybe. I mean, maybe you're the one getting fucked, but I'm just saying, in the negative way. Maybe you just made the huge mistake, but you don't know. But the point is you either just save somebody from drowning, or you just shove them into the swamp to drown, because you did something in the world that was just. I'm just trying to do my best, and yeah, well, doing your best means you stole his wife, and he would have had a great life and great kids, and they would have invented a cure for cancer, and you just fucked the whole planet. And so that's the arbitrariness of the world we live in. So that's one of these facts, of the story of life, is that, oh, this is way beyond controllable, so fuck it. So, Nick hasn't gotten to the, oh, just grow up and fuck it. Alright, fuck this idea of keep doing this to things, keep making babies. That's easy to control. You put on one of those little rubbery things, works out just fine. No big fucking goddamn deal. Quit encouraging poor people to, just instead of saying it's okay to be a poor, stupid, ignorant cunt. No, say no, it's not okay. You're even more dangerous than I am. Oh, you're leaking toxic waste, for fuck's sake. You're not productive. You're not giving. You're not cleaning up the condo. No, you're making it stink. I mean, they got to get real. Smart people have to get a little bit real and start identifying menaces, obvious menaces, to health and welfare. Anyway, but yeah, so it's just a story. You're just living a story. You're in a little storybook character in a stupid little story. And, if you decide, because your brain says, well, that sucks, can we try something else? Well, yes, and if you try something else like the truth, don't be surprised it's not going to make you happy. It's not going to be a good time. But at least it's going to be that honorable thing to do. And so you'll have to be satisfied with your honor badge. You got a little badge, like a little purple heart thing, because you're bleeding for the cause. But that's all stands between idiocracy and human beings preserving their dignity. So you can have dignocracy or you can have idiocracy, and the choice is, like I said, you actually have to choose, because if you don't do it, you don't say I want dignocracy, then it won't happen. Just like beating Hitler thing. Somebody has to sign up to do it, and you're not going to get drafted. So that makes it a little tougher. It's a tougher war because there ain't going to be no draft. Nobody can force you to be a decent human being. Your brain is going to have to do the calculation and say, alright, I can see what you're saying. I can see that everything is bullshit. And we're living fake lives, just caught up in ambition, optimism bias all over the place. We face every day. We just don't say, I'm going to die of cancer soon, or I'm going to, you don't do any of that shit. You don't pay any attention to the real risks. You don't ever think about the fact that I just bought the last one of the thing on sale, and now some nice old lady's going to show up and say, oh, there ain't no nice thing for me to buy because that guy bought the last one. You're never going to, you don't do that. You don't live your life that way. This is no fun to live that way. And just recognize that. Recognize that you're screwing the truth for the fun of it. And that's what you're doing. So anyway, so Nick didn't get to any of this stuff. He's still on, we're robots. And there was a little bit of conversation like somehow it matters that being a shitty person isn't your fault. I mean, because you never hit a rock that told you, you suck, right? So because you didn't hit a little emendum rock that said right to your face, you're a shitty, sucky piece of weaselly, conniving fucking crap, then you couldn't figure it out on your own. You needed somebody to say it, even though the mirror was saying it to you every morning. You just didn't, you saw it in there. That's why people look at the mirror and they go, oh, yeah. Because, yeah, they can see who's in that fucking thing. Mr. Weasley Conniver. So, yeah, just admit it. Yeah. Just accept we're bugs. It's the nature of it. And we dance and we tell stories, but we don't do anything truly intelligent, okay, with our extra capacity, because it's all bad programming. So it's just about what the popular story is, right? And obviously the most popular story is going to be like the most popular candidate. Some baby kissing, never try not to offend anybody, you know, try to placate every little special interest possible with lies and bullshit. I care about you. I feel your pain. I understand your oh yeah, that's shooting stuff. Oh, bleh. Just bullshit. They don't give a fuck about any of that crap. They just care about, I hope the guy who paints my portrait does a good job. You know, for Portrait Hall. You know, that's, you know, maybe they'll put my face on a quarter. You know, some kind of bullshit like that. They'll name an airport after me. Or a cesspool would be better, more like it. But anyway, but that's it. So we're just fighting this popular story, and the popular story for a lot of, you know, one of the most popular stories is this religion crap, and that's obvious bullshit. But even underlying that, there's people who are just, oh yes, the universe is infinite, and it's got a very, very, very long, very long, and you know, and they just keep turning it into some sort of little magical story, you know, that the universe is doing something and it's making little consciousnesses that are floating around going, I'm a consciousness and I'm special, la 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 la. I mean, it's just pathetic, when the reality is the Nature Channel or whatever. I mean, it's just carnage. Just carnage. You know, lay your eggs inside of their brain. You know, I mean, so your little maggots can eat their brain. You know, it's disgusting. That's the thing we're caught up in. It's just a stupid, you know, meat grinder engine. Just chew them up. Make defectives and chew them up. Make something defective, chew it up. And then let a few of the little defective things, the little superior defectives, think they're all special because I've survived 4 billion years. Yes, my little squigglies, right, my little chromosomes have survived, let's just say, anyway, 1 billion years. 1 billion years my little squigglies have been squiggling. I'm so superior, I'm so superior, you know, and that's all people are doing. They think they're something merely because, like a rock, you know, on top of a mountain, they haven't fallen off yet. But we're all that close, right? Because my little squigglies are now done being king of the world. You know, have to be somebody else's little squigglies that take the "We own planet Earth" banner. You know, because my little squigglies won't be doing that. But anyway, it's just such bullshit, and that's the real subject. Is what's the proper reaction to learning that we're just robots, and the robot is in the category bug, and even if you gave him all the knowledge in the universe, it's not going to fix the problem. You're still a fucking bug. You're still driven by these basic desires to chew other living things to pieces, and then and fuck and such, and the whole social element of that. You know, we have some social evolution because we're dumb monkeys, and monkeys like to commit genocide, so we're competitive with each other and trying to beat the crap out of each other. So, you know, we're just full of negatives. Tons and tons of negatives, and the only positives are negatives. Well, we love each other. No, we love our kind. We love our troop. You know, and why do we love them? Because they're going to help keep our little squigglies alive. They're going to die in our wars for us. We can take 50 million of them and kill them in a war. Little boys. Just, you know, when they're little. And we'll go give them a little gun and say, go get killed, fucker, for me. And that's called, I love you. I love you so much. Yeah, Sure you do. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's such bullshit. So he hasn't gotten to the it's such bullshit part. Instead, he just keeps talking about how to, he's almost going to anti-Kantavad. You can almost see him, he's undoing the wrappings, and you can almost see him going to open the package and say, just figure out what's in it for you. you know, I'm going to spend after my wife dies, I'm just going to spend my time camping and taking pictures. I'm not going to do anything about the victims. Fuck them. I'm not going to do anything about the social memes that are insane. Instead of doing something about it like he did for 5 years with the over the peak thing, the whole oil thing, the whole money thing, just tear that down. Fuck the message. Fuck pointing out that we're living in just complete bullshit. So, in a sense, I'm just saying, I get the feeling that Nick's not going to get it. He's still going to just be saying, I think cheese is yummy too. That's his story. He doesn't, yeah. So, anyway, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. The interesting thing is the Allen guy, who is like my surrogate son or something or whatever. I mean, he really is. He takes everything I say and he puts it in a nice, better language, which is nice. But anyway, it is funny. That he's, so Nick is engaging with the others. He won't reference anything I say at all. So I can see there's point to that, just to test to see if there's any other humans that can say anything on this subject that would be meaningful, make any contribution at all. And so he's testing them, and I suppose I don't know. The way he grades, I don't think anybody can pass the test, because he's going to somehow, like I said, he's going to Nietzsche in the end, and just say, oh, too much trouble for me to do anything about it. My programming says, no, I want to have a good time, as good as I can. And, I'll go ahead and stick a few machetes in here and there. I don't give a fuck. Throw them over my head here. Machete on the way. Fuck it. What do I care? And you just say, that's the way I'm programmed. I'm programmed to, play this game like I can't tell the difference between good person and bad person, or responsible person and irresponsible person, or idiot and idiocracy. I mean, you just say, yeah, well, can't beat them, join them. And it's that whole I can't beat them argument that I just find so fatalistic or feudalistic. It's, yes, of course you can't. If you surrender, that's right. If you surrender, you can't win the war. Unless you tie bombs to yourself or something. Then you're not really surrendering, you're fake surrendering. Alright. Let's see, I did take a couple of little scurvy notes for this, but I can't really read them. So I did the popular stories. So that's really the whole story, is this competing story thing. And the idea that the story the rational people want to tell about how you're just so fucked. There's just nothing truly creative in you. There's nothing truly unique or you own kind of a thing. You're just a combination of words. You're just a combination of impact with words. Spoken, the word hits you with a little bit of firmness. The idea or the concept, like suffering got to you, or trauma or something else got to you, and that became a theme, and blah, 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 blah. Some sort of, oh, I get that, I feel your pain thing, because now I'm feeling the pain. That kind of thing. So you have some story that's made it possible for you to do this. Oh, yeah, I can see what's happening. I get it. Something impacted you, paused you from your bug agenda, and you actually stopped for a minute and thought about it. And as you started to think about it, and you started to realize, oh, I'm thinking what my brain says I should think. Oh, can I make my brain think something other than what it wants to think? And once you start playing that game, though, you'll realize that there's all kinds of ideas that you haven't paid any attention to in your existence. You know, things you just heard but didn't, fuck that. There's starving people in China. Don't throw that food away. And yeah, it sort of made sense to you, but you never really thought about it. You just said, well, it's China. You know, it's far away. Fuck it. Can't get the food there anyway. That really wasn't the point, whether you get your garbage to China. But sort of the point is that the world's not working quite right. And it's not it isn't the good ship lollipop. See? It's the good ship fucking disaster. Train wreck. Yeah, it's a good ship train wreck. And so there's just no excuse for party dancing songs, girls in bikinis with beach balls. It's totally inappropriate as a response to the situation. Alright. So, do I need to say anything else for this segment? Stories are sticky. Oh yes, that's the problem too. These stories, like once you get programmed, it's really hard to deprogram people. Lots of work. Have to capture them, throw them in the back of the van, hit them with the rubber hose. You know, just gotta, you know, it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. I mean, you have to go through all this crap to get them to accept, you know, that you're just a stupid bug bot, little bug bot with your silly little ambitions and your silly little I'm winning bullshit. And you're just sitting there with your little tentacles grabbing little bits of yum yum out of the environment, with no understanding that every lever you pull in the real world machete somebody in the neck. Sends little kids off to get blown up in wars, get their little limbs blown off. You know, when you just think about all the brutality of the past, I mean, the horror that human beings have endured, how anybody can think anything we're doing is worth it. Everybody should be saying, holy shit, are we ever in debt? We are in suffering debt. We have this huge fucking horror and misery debt. It's just time to give up, declare bankruptcy, acknowledge that it just can't be played. Here we are in 2017 and we're still threatening each other with cruise missiles and this, that, and the other goddamn thing. I'm going to blow your arms off. I mean, just give up. It's stupid. This game is not going to be won. You know, every day you can just see it getting worse and worse. The racism, the animosities, the hostilities. It's just going to get worse and worse. And you silly people with this silly, well, just eat your cheese. It's okay. Ignore all that. Fuck, you goddamn suck. I mean, your programming is just so fucking goddamn stupid. Oh, let's fix the problem by doing absolutely nothing. We can't even say the words. Don't do it. Just don't. Just say no to everything. It's all a bad drug. Just say the words. Fuck. Quit giving people license to fucking strap more people to the damn gurney, you know, so, you know, Mengele can eat their testicles. It's just stupid. Alright. The system. Anyway. Alright, yeah, so that's probably enough. So, I mean, all this no I thing is nice to play games with. Yes. But, you know, talking about how we don't have one. But the truth is we do have a function. And part of the function is being able to do this concept thing. And one of the concepts we can understand is that we're programmed, okay, that we can have different functions, and that the function should be driven by what's good for the sentient life on planet Earth, not what's good for me. I mean, that fucking math we can all do. We can all figure out how not important our personal well-being is relative to the whole destiny of all the potential gurney victims, the potential torture victims. We can recognize that that's a bigger pool than my puddle. And my brain, because it does work if I let it, can figure that little bit of 2 plus 2 math out and say, yes, I will let my brain function to figure out what the right answer is for all sentient life, especially the stuff in the future, not me. The present, the little tiny thing, the present. Future, big, big, big thing. So save the future seems rational. Much more of it than here. Little puddle versus big giant. I might be a golden egg, but I'm a little tiny golden egg. Future's got a zillion fucking golden eggs in it. So yeah, I have to save those eggs from being pushed off the Humpty Dumpty wall. Yeah, that kind of logic. That's what we can do. It's that simple. There. All the I stuff doesn't matter. None of this bullshit matters. We can figure out the truth. That we're just caught up in a stupid meat grinder machine-y thing, and that if we just climb right to the little edge, grab hold of it, and just throw a little pebble of reason into the mix, just say no to bullshit, and a little rock will go in and break the machine. That's all. That's all it takes. Enough of us to throw a pebble, and it'll just grind the grinder. Grinder will grind itself into nothing. That kind of thing. Okay, that's a story. Okay, but it's a story that's a good metaphor for the reality. The reality is there can be heroic ideas. The heroic idea of future more important than present. That heroic idea can come to the rescue and save the future from doing the same disastrous, sloppy bullshit, the same machete nonsense that we've been doing for millions of years. No more genocide. No more starvation, no more loneliness, no more mental illness, no more absolute, no more horror, no more getting fucking old and dying. No more of that crap. No more, compressed discs in the back. Oh, it really is irritating. Every now and then. Fun. Anyway. Yes, that's enough. Until later. Maybe. Probably. Well, yeah, I'll have to do something later. I'll say something just because, Thunderfoot did his whatever eclipse shadow video, and it was a complete failure, which is funny as hell. I couldn't see shit. So instead of doing some legitimate science, he does this stupid shadow crap that it's just absolute nothing. But everybody's ooh and ah. It's just so funny, to watch people. They're supposed to have some sort of respect for science, and they're, look, it's a diamond ring. Look, it's diamond ringing. It's just hilarious. I mean, it's as bad as, the funniest Monty Python skit, regarding religious kookery. I mean, it's just this total, orgasmic reaction, to a simple mechanical event. I mean, it's like somebody driving their car right on the yellow line. Look, his tire is right on the yellow line. It's an amazing. I mean, oh my God. What is that? I mean, it's, and these are supposed to be the serious people. Fuck. Anyway, till next time. Figured I'd do an add-on the old-fashioned way. Stroll and talk. Not going anywhere. Just walking around. Mostly sunflowers. Very nice. Alright, where was I? I want to do the Thunderfoot thing, but the philosophy thing is always just sitting inside my head and rolling around. So I was thinking about the people who are just not convinced, and what is it that they're not convinced of? Cats. The blind one is getting very, very blind. Pooing everywhere. Anyway, so they're unconvinced by the kind of simple argument that life is, it will be better never to have been for some percentage of the population. Whatever amount of time they spent here, like the babies who die 6 months after they're born or something, and the people who live mundane lives get killed in a war, they get cancer when they're 20, all that kind of crap. Definite better never to have been things, better never to have kind of started the project and then canceled it in some kind of brutal and horrible way that you wouldn't want happen to you. These are the ones I'm trying to, well, that one's not a very good example, but it's a lovely color, pale. Trying to get them paler and paler. Sort of a word not unlike what I'm talking about. Just this paleness to what people cling to. It's a very weak argument. It reminds me of the physics. So, but anyway, it's just this simple. If you cut all the crap out, having to have a big conversation about the nature of our existence, the fact that we're bugs, the fact that we're robots, the fact that we're just mimicking culture, and what mommy told you and what her mommy told her, and blah blah blah. All much complete bullshit. No praying mantises, which just means there's a zillion of these little moths. Can't get that picture, the little sex picture. You can't get that, moth porn when I have the camera. I don't know what it is. Every time I come up with the camera, nothing. But you can see there's nothing in there. Look at that. Nothing. Birds are eating the flowers, but not much else happening. Which is, I shouldn't say it's disappointing, because, I shouldn't enjoy watching the whole, whatever, the worst show on earth. But it's just such a familiar part of summer that it just makes it not feel quite right. To say, hey, it's summer, but nothing's getting brutally and horribly killed in my garden. But anyway, did find a butterfly dead inside one of the flowers, which is just, right inside the flower. I have a picture of it. I'll show it sometime or other. It's like, how do you die there? That's not really possible. What's the theory? I challenge it. Can't be right. Alright, so anyway, where was I? Yeah, so it's just it. That, it's not a complex argument in the sense of, do you care about the victims in the future or not? You're just willing to burn them down. You're just willing to, say, fuck you, I'm having fun, and I want my future fun people to have fun, and us fun people will just tell you people who didn't have fun, fuck you. And that's the extent of your philosophy. So anyway, it's not much of an argument. So the point is I'm saying, it's not a difficult argument, so once I say it on CNN or something, my job here on Earth would be finished, because it's not a complex point to have to make. So yeah, it is just, I'm just kind of winding down. I'm thinking in terms of winding down my project here. Anyway, where was I? Not anything, nothing dramatic soon. I'm just saying it's been a rough year. It just gives you a taste of the fact that the longer I'm here, the more I'm exposed to it getting rougher. That's not a good idea. Anyway, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, that somehow I can relate these subjects, because I've been learning how difficult it is to communicate with people, because they have such different values. I mean, their feed on such a different earth than I feed on. Their curiosities are different, their passions are different. They're really just fundamentally such different organisms And it's just kind of amazing when you think how similar the raw flesh is, and the basic brain function. That it just has these very simple drives. Food, sex, and the sex thing creates this ambition thing, let's say. And so you have is ambition, and a few maintenance chores, and yet we manifest those in these hugely philosophically divergent, completely opposite, 180-degree different conclusions drawn. And you see that in this, the physics argument I'm having, where people are so comfortable with a theory, bent space, photon, even the photons as wave packet thingies. I remember that one bothering me in like the 8th grade. I was like totally rejecting it without even knowing it, because I was like, no. I just kept seeing little balls, at a frequency. I couldn't imagine the wavy packety thingy. I couldn't make it make any sense. And so I can go through all the things, Heisenberg, all the little spooky action bullshit, and they really like that stuff. It fits in their brain, no problem. I mean, that's the way the universe works. And now that I've come up with a counter explanation, where before you had nothing, like you had wave theory or nothing. So they didn't tell you any other. They didn't tell you anything else was possible. They talked as if we've proven it. There's nothing to talk about. We've gotten all done. No point in even speculating about some other alternative explanation. So you weren't even encouraged to imagine that to be possible, because they had already described and defined the truth. And I guess you could say there's that social meme when it comes to how magnificent life is. It's one of my newer ones. It's a lovely pink, but I don't know if it's quite right. It's close though. Close to quite right. So yeah, the garden did well. The apples were nice, but it was kind of tragic, the number of the birds ruined. And I don't know why well, I guess they would have been bigger apples if the birds would have let them be bigger apples. I had to grab them before they ruined them all, but they were good. So anyway, that's really a side subject. But I do that, so you're stuck with it. Probably should avoid the sunny side. Pace in a more ordered fashion, forward and backward. Okay, anyway, it's just been a while since I've held the camera. Even holding the camera feels a little heavy. That's part of it. I'm just getting weak. I just can't deal with it anymore. But I probably will, in spite of the statement that I can't. So anyway, so I did want to get to the Thunderfoot thing a little bit, on the science subject, and just the whole hype about the eclipse. And that's the thing where my brain is just like, I mean, that's something that charmed you when you were 10. Maybe even a 10-year-old doesn't really. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. I mean, it stuns me that people could gather up enough energy to go through all this process of go climbing some mountain somewhere so they can watch an eclipse. And then they do it, and they don't even do, this Einstein experiment that, is supposed to be such solid evidence, and they don't even try to repeat it. The most unrepeated experiment in physics that is supposed to carry the most weight. I mean, one of the most weighty experiments, and the most under-repeated, or at least successfully, at least to any dramatic sense. And now the key thing is now, when the Eddington guy did it in 1919, he had to do it with a still camera and photographic plates. I mean, he didn't even have 35mm film. And Well, they might have, but I guess they wanted to get you. They needed a bigger picture because they had to do such a fine measurement. But now you got all this digital stuff, so it really and video. So you should technically be able to video stuff getting lensed because it happens in a matter of seconds. And you'll see it move wrong. You'll see it move in some way you never saw a sun move before. And I'm sure there won't be any such video, and there won't be any commentary by the scientific community going, well, here we had the perfect eclipse for proving, and nobody proved. And no one will make that argument. None of these scientists will say, gee, isn't that evidence that this might be weak evidence, that we had the perfect circumstances to prove something, and nobody proved it? But again, I've argued we've had the perfect circumstances for proving it since Hubble went into space, and they never proved it. We've had the perfect circumstances for proving it since the space station was built, and nobody proved it. So, yeah, it seems like it's probably not a provable thing because it doesn't really happen. But anyway, they'll just fight. Oh, you can't say that. That's outrageous. Yeah, you can't say the Pope has smelly balls. That's just too big a sacrilege. What do you think we are? Serious thinking people? No, we're zealots who get offended real easy. I mean, it's just seeming that obvious. And then, so it's Thunderfoot. It's supposed to be a scientist guy. Then I go on to Piro, who's, yes, he's a fake scientist. He pretends to be one, in his pajamas. It's a scientific underoos. He makes this horrible video, just the worst science video ever posted on YouTube. It's so bad, so wrong. And not one downvote, not one comment saying, hey, you know what you just said is complete crap. Not even close to the right answer. And, and then I'm supposed to think about how much integrity this science has, how well tested it is, and how nobody could, with a right mind, doubt what a great job we're doing, the scientists. And like I said, they can't even get that stupid Dr. Quantum video off of YouTube, that slanders their science and claims their science did all kinds of wacky experiments it never did. And it's the highest viewed physics video on the internet. Yet the scientists on YouTube say nothing. They just say, yeah, sure, go ahead. We love when people lie about our science, as long as they're lying about wave theory stuff and magic. If they start talking about a dull universe of determinism and clockwork and, static mechanisms that start implying that humans might be fucking robots, oh no, you can't say that. So, it's just terrible. Awful and horrible. So, anyway, I did want to add that stuff. So, I guess I probably should do some segment on what's to come, but I really don't have any clue. So it probably doesn't deserve a segment. With the whole 500 thing, it's supposed to make you think about that kind of stuff and, doing better and all that other crap. But again, I don't think there's much to do better. It's just to have a better audience. Much like my videos, I need a better audience. So, in that vein, especially for the physics videos anyway, I am personally soliciting different physics channels, the ones that are well viewed, and see if I can bribe them with actual money, to put their scientific reputation on the line and debunk me, shame me, do me in with their superior knowledge of the facts of the universe. Because that's what I really need. I need to humiliate somebody with, a really good suit. Somebody in a real pretty suit. I need to throw tomatoes at them. Fact tomatoes, not malicious tomatoes. I have to bludgeon them with the truth that their science is fundamentally flawed and now is just a bunch of dogmatic bent space axioms that they will defend beyond all reason. they won't reasonably defend it. They'll defend it with garbage evidence, insane exaggerations, and promises that no, the math takes care of it all. The math and the geometry, they're running the universe. So no need to worry, because the math and the geometry, they'll prove it someday. Someday the math and the geometry will show up, and they'll prove everything for us. Make it all reasonable. Anyway, disposing of some excess flowering. Anyway, so have I done the job for this segment? I believe I have. Getting a little sun, it's summer, land in summer's fading, and that's disappointing because I didn't have nearly the the fun. One goes into every summer with some expectations of fun, and I sort of missed. Did have a lot of bad back days, and just a lot of crap happened this year. But anyway, that's probably enough. Probably enough, but I'll probably say some more maybe. I think that's probably enough. Yeah, we'll call it a quits there. But it's lovely here, you can see. It's just very nice. If I was one of you frivolous, glib people, maybe I could just sit and enjoy, but it's just not my style. I'm a serious human. I know it doesn't seem that way. Okay, I was like the cat. I don't look very serious. Really serious. Yeah. So anyway, that's good enough. You'll have to do anyway. We'll call it a put it in the can thing, mostly. Groundhog living in the house over there. Gotta do something with him. I just hate to have to trap it and drag him off somewhere. He is menacing things with his teeth. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I don't think really no more, right? So tomatoes all doing very well and stuff like that. New hibiscus over there doing well. Blah 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 blah. So till next time and such. If there isn't more, then it'll be immediately. But otherwise, thanks again to all the people who have inspired this slop, whatever it is. Right? I didn't do it. I'm just a reflection of the best part of you people. And you're just a reflection of the worst part of me. Something like that. Must be.